Warning: this program may contain explicit language that may be considered offensive or inappropriate to children and some adults.
The following content is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello, and welcome to hour 22 of our 24-hour live stream. We are fundraising today for Woe Nelly Media's first ever self-produced project, a web series called Flirting with Destiny. And we have been up since midnight last night, basically just churning it out, hit after hit. And we are here with our Geeking Out panel. But before we have fun with the show, I want to remind you that the point of us doing this is so that we can raise enough money so that we can start our filming. So the goal is to reach $1,000 by the end of the day, and the long-term goal is $5,000 so that we can film, buy lighting equipment, sound equipment, wardrobe, all that stuff. So if you're watching right now, please share this video because it's not sharing to my page, but I would really love for more people to watch our final hour. So share the video, let people know what's up, and go ahead and go over to gofundme.com/f/flirtingwdestiny and contribute so that we can make enough money to make this thing a reality. And I appreciate every little bit. Now, this is not only special because of the 24-hour live stream. This is not only special because of the donations and the fundraiser. It is not only special for those reasons. This is why tonight is really special. Tonight is special because I have been hounded relentlessly for decades to make room on this panel for one very special person. Moe Smith has made it clear that this is where they want to be. So this is where they will reside. So, let's welcome Moe to Geeking Out. Finally served the justice that they deserve.
Yay!
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Welcome, Mo. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
you
you.
are very welcome.
Long overdue.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Welcome to the most chaotic
and unprofessional
place you will ever
Period. That you will ever know.
Ever know.
More so than TalkItOut that regularly comes
Way
out
more so
Thursday
than
at 8 p.m.
Way more so
on Woe Media.
Oh, are we going for regular? Oh, what?
Way more.
I just feel like, you know what? Y'all better be happy. You know what? Because I'll shut all this shit down. Okay.
Well, I need you to pay attention because I just name dropped another show that people need to be watching even after this 24-hour broadcast.
This is right.
Come on,
I thought that was shade, but that was a shameless plug. My
yes,
bad.
it was. It's all right. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
It was a shadeness plug.
Shameless plug.
And this has been one of the craziest. Like, this has been so freaking fun. Don't even know what y'all are talking about, but click the stream because of the human shirt. Thank you. Love it.
Harp's Kid.
Harp's Kid. So we'll tell you what this is.
Stick around.
Basically, we've been doing a 24-hour live stream for our channel. Woe Nelly Media is our digital media production company, and we do a show every Monday called Geeking Out. Every other Monday, yeah, called Geeking Out. And we're doing an extra episode this week because of the 24-hour live stream. And tonight's episode, we're going to talk about everything we're geeking out about in pop culture, and then we're going to talk about Birds of Prey, the movie. And, you know, if you want to know more about Geeking Out, or if you just want to hang out with us for the night and sit and see if you like it, please do. You can also look all over the channel. But I really appreciate you appreciating the shirt because this is a big deal.
That's right.
It's very
Absolutely.
true.
Honestly,
Period.
he always has a set of like awesome shirts. So stick around. Stick around for another one. Come back. Come back for another shirt.
Listen,
There's more.
I love stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to the point to where like I used to be so like afraid of letting people know. Now I'm just like, what's up?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Just
So
letting it all hang out. Yeah.
So Ricky, this is Ricky's show. So Ricky, you've got about an hour and 40 minutes? Yeah, hour 40 minutes.
Let's get to it. So, welcome to another episode of Geeking Out. A special episode because, you know, we're usually every other Monday, but you get 2 episodes in 1 week. And you get Mo.
Great.
You get Mo at the same time. So, thank you, Mo, one of our favorite Talk It Out panelists, a frequent flyer on Talk It Out, finally with us on Geek It Out.
Only been dropping hints since we've been on how long?
I literally had to give them their own show and put them on this one.
Right. So also, if you were at the beginning, at midnight on this morning, of our live stream, you saw one of our new podcasts, Sips and Kiki.
That one's
which people are clearly going to enjoy. I didn't expect.
Yes, it's going to be all about pop culture. So you'll see Duryea and Mo and another Talk It Out vet, Tristan Daniels. When y'all figure out the time, we'll promote it. Okay, I'll help with that. But also, you can find Mo on Instagram at Moe Smith Pro, and always give them the spiel, Mo.
Yes, we are in the middle of I don't want to say telethon, but a donation-thon for Flirting with Destiny, which is a very important movie or showcase that is being planned by Woe Media. However, after you finish donating, no donation is too small. Make sure you also hit up my Cash App, which is at $Moe Smith Pro. That is $MoeSmithPro. And that's B as in Paul. Okay, not T as in Tom. All right.
Just let her hold $1 real quick. Let her hold $1.
Just a square. Just a square.
Also, we have our fantasy extraordinaire, Julian.
Hi, how's everybody today?
Yeah.
And then we have.
That's what I want.
We have our director and creator of Woe Nelly Media, Duryea Rashad, here tonight. Who's been
Which
here
is
the
still his
entire
birthday
time.
for another 90
right,
minutes.
it's his birthday. Happy birthday!
I know. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
This is really my party scene right here. Like, this is me being like, happy, it's my birthday.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Yeah, how long? Wait, what time is it?
And
It
he's
is
been here
10
like
o'clock.
the entire day.
It's 10 o'clock. You got 2 hours.
He's been here the entire day.
But you know what? Honestly, I usually take it the whole month.
Thank you.
All of March. I'm sorry. All of March is technically my birthday month.
You know what? I'm feeling that way right now, just because I'm feeling very blessed in the fact that like I managed to somehow get about 30 people to join into this endeavor, and every segment today was very well like it pretty much ran smoothly. Everybody had so much dope stuff to bring to the table. We had cooking tutorials, makeup tutorials. I didn't even realize this was going to turn into an It's basically an entrepreneurial fest. Like, we had so many small business owners come here and drop their little nuggets of small businesses. And I just was like watching the whole time. Like, I think looking back on it now too, I'm just like, man, like, how did I pull that shit out? It's almost like I didn't do it. It just like I was just present for it. It was. I just feel very blessed that so many people were willing to contribute to this family that I'm trying to build, and I just really feel like so blessed.
Yes, and like you know, we're almost at the finish line here. So congrats to you and happy birthday for that. Yeah.
Congrats to us for like I low key like y'all think I'm kidding. Like I really do feel like I'm sleepy. So being sleepy for me is almost like being a little drunk. So I really do feel like low key like y'all are like we're building a family for real, and I just.
Oh, he's feeling
honestly, true because there was a I was saying like the range of like things that you had for the like subjects content that you had for this stream was awesome. Like that was so cool. So I was like, there's so many things that I want to tune in for, and I was like, but I might have to sleep sometime. How's this gonna happen? It was like rough, you know. But like so like I was watching the obviously. Whatever. I was watching like the drawing tutorial, right? And that was at like 1:30 in the morning, and then I wanted to watch the video one, which was like at 9, and then you know we had the one at 10, and then there was one at 2, and then another one at like 5:30, and I was like, well, okay, I'm here all day. And I'm like,
it really was almost like a virtual conference. Yeah. Now looking really back on it, it really was like a virtual conference where we just had events all throughout the day. Some people came in and they were like here for like a little tutorial, and it was
really fast to the family thing because like Cody was doing the video editing, and like he had been here with us with Geeking Out one time, and like maybe I want to say
he was here for Talking Out.
Maybe I was on Talking Out with him. Yeah, that was so it's like we're all kind of intermingling again, and it's cool.
We really are, and it's so dope because everybody like. I'm that type of person. If you know me for any sort of length of time, I'm really that type of person. If I know you and you have a gift, then I'm gonna steal your gift and use it for my capital. I'm gonna capitalize off of it. But I'm gonna give you credit. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm for real though. Like I love working. I love doing art and I love creating. But I really love that shit even more when I'm like able to have like a good time when I do it and like cut up a little bit, but still get things done. And I really appreciate all of y'all because like we really do cut the hell up in Woe Nelly Media, but we also like we get things done. And I really, man, I feel so full right now. I do.
Like he done did a whole church conference. Amen, people.
Hey,
amen. Pass around that collection plate.
Literally. And the collection plate is located at www.gofundme.com/f/flirting Thank you. I really appreciate y'all.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so of course, like we always do, we always start off with first, I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm Ricky Z, social media manager, mom, teacher, here like at least once a week for something.
Girl,
I'm always here. So
at least once a week. Once a week is being modest.
Right.
I'm always here. But no, like, y'all know me. I'm Ricky Z. But
the backbone of
if you don't see me, I'm usually in the background. I'm always here.
She's the backbone.
Killing it somewhere.
When I tell you she was here for that first show at midnight.
Right. We didn't even expect Rakia, and all of a sudden I said, y'all Rakia backstage. And she just hopped right in.
Working right. I was there. I was still there.
It went smoothly, honey. I said, thank you.
Look, and then I went to bed right after.
Everybody did.
Yes.
I don't even think
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm not gonna tell it. Never mind. Go ahead.
Just like there was tea somewhere.
It was.
I do want to. You know what? I do want to say something really quick. You know, I'm trying to think about like. No, you know what? Go ahead, Rakia.
No,
I was gonna say. I was trying to figure out like I was gonna say like what was my favorite event of the day, and I really can't pick one. I would say
you gotta say Sip and Kiki.
Well, the interesting thing about it was like as I was doing it, the first thing you and Tristan asked me was, "Am I nervous?" And I was like, "Look, I just want everything to go well. Meaning, I just want everybody to show up and us to do what we got to do, and that way everything get done." But then every event I was at, I literally found myself going, "This was awesome." And I had a few people who don't normally do this, and they were like, "I would really like to do this again." And in general, just like a stream, and I was like, "Bro, wouldn't it be crazy if Woe Nelly turned into something like that? Like we turned our Twitch network into like an actual just goddamn streaming network, and we had just like shit happening all the time. Wouldn't that be so? Not all the time, but like
regular content. Yes,
I was like, that would be dope, especially if we could make some money off of that joint and quit our day jobs. But But you know, that's thinking ahead. Right.
Or at least have
Yeah.
a good side hustle. Come on now.
Absolutely.
All
right.
So like we normally do, we always start off with, what are you geeking out about? So we go around the podcast and talk about what's going on. So it might be a little hard this week because we've already had an episode on Monday.
Like 2 days
but
ago.
we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work.
I got some stuff. I found some
Right.
stuff today.
I got a couple.
So
I
Julie, go
hope we
ahead.
didn't find the same stuff though.
Right.
No. Maybe actually it might have been because it really okay. Mine's very sciencey, and it was very much spurred by the earlier stream from the MCU universe theories and speculation and things. We were talking about chaos magic and all this other stuff and the universe and things, and I was just like, yeah, and I was like, oh god, I was like, also, you know, because I love science and like I've at least independently for the most part studied a lot of science and in schooling, I suppose, technically, but whatever. Anyway, so I love that shit. And like, you know, computers and the whole nine. So I was kind of going down a whole tangent, and like my friend, I'm sure, was like, I don't know anything that you're talking about right now, but you're having a whole discussion by yourself. But I was like totally geeking out science wise. Computers are amazing. Brains on science are amazing. It's kind of like it was really much involved of like how AI is like kind of imprinting our own like thoughts and like processes as well, thought processes into like a computer and something like, you know, something that's entirely external. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so I guess it's science I'm really geeking out about these days. Also, okay, we're gonna talk about it here because we didn't really get to talk about it in the MCU universe thing. So I in preparation for that, also I was watching a lot of MCU universe stuff. Most of the things I had actually seen, I knew I was behind, like I hadn't seen Endgame still. But I'm like getting there. So I had just seen Captain Marvel, which is, you know, was a big controversy, and I was like, oh god, whatever. It was so good. That movie is good. This movie's good. I technically haven't finished it yet, but it's good. And I'm like, I don't understand what all the beef was. That still doesn't resonate with me. That still doesn't make any sense. And like, and I'm like, well, it also feels like it's only coming from one voice. It's usually a deeper set tone and attached to, you know, who. But
a fanboy problem.
Exactly. It's annoying. I'm like, why are these fanboys even getting this kind of fucking like noise? Like, they're not even like, it's not even worth that, because this movie is like, okay, I can understand that perhaps she might not be the most in-depth character, I suppose. But the movie was hardly unlikable. She was hardly so unlikable. You know what I mean? And like her arrogance and her attitude was just, it reminded me of Tony Stark's attitude, to be honest. Like, you know, I thought like her arrogance and her kind of her confidence of like, I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go and do it. That's it. You know what I mean? Everyone's just gonna have to follow suit. That's very Tony Stark. You know what I mean? To me. But everyone here, you know, puts him up on this pedestal. But you know, she's got a pair of
I hate Tony Stark.
Well,
the only redeemable quality about him happened in the last moments of his character on screen for me. Like, when he killed himself, it sucks because I'm not saying it's because he killed himself. I'm saying that act to me was the first like truly selfless thing he had ever done, in my opinion. I think everything else fed his ego. Even he.
That's true. Right.
I don't think everything, because Civil War wasn't feeding his ego. I think that he did that.
Civil War was the epitome of I'm right and I'm always right, and whenever I decide, even if my mind changes correctly. Even so much so that even when I found out I was being manipulated by this small tiny European man, I see like he to me.
Yeah, but
he's classic chauvinist.
But it wasn't like he was being manipulated by falsehoods. Everything Baron Zemo manipulated him on, it was truths, including the Winter Soldier killing his parents. So
I just feel like Tony Stark was this man who did so many Okay, so if Tony Stark could feel like that, Wanda should have kept her same energy too.
See, here's the thing. You said don't talk about Wanda, but you talk.
I'm talking about not WandaVision Wanda. I'm talking about Wanda, Age of Ultron Wanda. Because in that, you find out that the whole beef she had is that my point is, even though he might not have shot that missile, how many deaths did that man cause with his life before he became Iron Man? And it really took him literally being on the precipice of death for him to value other people's lives. And I don't like characters like that. I like characters like Falcon. Plain old average human who got some fake wings, who already values him in life.
And I don't like Falcon.
I like Falcon as a character. You might not like his powers and stuff, but I mean, he's that dude who's there. He ready. No. Falcon is solid. He's solid. You know where he stand. Falcon you don't got to question him. Who he stand with? Okay. Captain America.
Period. Falcon is a basic stereotype that doesn't have any depth. Like, for example,
that I disagree. We haven't seen his depth.
What's his last love interest in the whole MCU?
The girl at the bar in that one scene from the digitally cut scene in the DVD special.
The DVD
one time.
How many loves did Captain America have?
Captain America had one love interest.
He had two.
He too.
Ooh, besides Peggy.
And Sue.
He wouldn't love her. He didn't love her.
He was smashing.
They didn't even really have a thing. They kissed once. They kissed once. They ain't had no thing. And Anthony Mackie about to get all up in that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay?
Yeah, they actually did at that.
Anthony Mackie about to get all up in that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
No, he's not. He's gonna be too busy trying to maintain the platform that Captain America.
Let me tell you. At the end of Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're gonna hear Megan Thee Stallion song going like this. That's all you're gonna hear, because that's what it's gonna be. Clearly, that's what time it is. I really feel like this though. I get what you're saying. I agree. As a trope, he is, but as a character, my point is saying to him as a character, I really appreciate characters that don't need. I don't even care. I don't like dudes like Tony Stark. It's like let's be clear. As mad as you are about Falcon, that's as mad as I am about Tony Stark. Tony Stark got away with being a rich, privileged dick. He got fucking glorified for being a rich, white, male, privileged dick in every moment of the series. And we say he's our favorite. And it's like, and y'all will see why that's problematic? Y'all will see why that's problematic? Literally, he was the cause of every problem they had as Avengers. He created Ultron. He created Wanda. It's his fault that Wanda and them were there, in my opinion. It's his fault. That's debatable, but okay, I'll back off of that one. It's his fault that Ultron is a vision. Is an issue. There's a list. I'll find the list. But there's a lot of problems that he created directly.
Is Stark problematic? Yes.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, they're his villains. The first villain in Iron Man was because of his invention. The second villain in Iron Man because of his invention.
The first Iron Man wasn't because of his invention.
It was.
It was because his uncle was stealing from the company.
Whose suit did the uncle have on at the end of the movie?
Again, his uncle was stealing from the company.
But if Iron Man never made that suit, if Iron Man had never made that suit, the uncle wouldn't have had nothing to steal. But I'm sorry. He would have had something to steal. No. I'm not saying no. You're right. I'm not saying that Tony Stark caused his uncle to be a shady, shiesty, backstabbing ass motherfucker. What I'm saying is Tony Stark, it's his fault that the shady, shiesty, backstabbing ass motherfucker all of a sudden had a big ass bazooka. It's Tony.
I wouldn't say it's okay. I wouldn't say it's. I understand.
This is why
what
Mo
you're
can't come
about.
on this show no more.
It is. Okay.
Come on here.
You cannot really put that on him.
Already building it.
How can you not blame the uncle getting the iron suit on Iron Man?
He created this
because the only reason why he created that damn iron suit,
but he hardly created that suit so that it could be stolen.
The problem with Iron Man, even before that man got his hands on it, was that he was creating shit so that he could be pleased. Him, that were causing other people death and pain. Let's talk about this. There's a scene in Iron Man #1 where they're in the middle of the highway and dude takes a car and throws it. We never find out what happened to the motherfuckers that were in that car. We don't even talk about it. We know what happened to them.
Your tone is a little pointed.
Wait, what are you saying?
But I think that's the point here, though, that he's making. I mean,
the point is what I'm saying. My point is that Tony Stark really skates by life, not like fucking up everything in his path that he touches with no consequence. And we as an audience basically tell him, Yeah, you privileged white
Don't we
man
do
with
the same
money.
thing for
But isn't
Batman?
not all superheroes?
I hate Batman.
Don't we do the same thing for Superman?
Superman don't do that. Superman's the kind. No, he don't. Superman gonna fly in
Did you see
and
Man
see
of
the little
Steel?
lady under the
Because
car.
I'm pretty sure someone had to die in Man of Steel. There was a
Okay. So Superman
Have you
flying,
seen
right?
Batman v Superman?
No, Superman flying. No, let me tell you, Superman flying, and he about to go beat somebody up or get laid, right? And all of a sudden, he see a lady.
Lois.
Help! My cat's in a tree. He gonna get that cat.
Maybe it's
He gonna get that cat.
Oh my god.
But definitely not in Man of Steel. Remember all that collateral damage that he caused in Man of Steel?
Yeah,
That's different, though. That's different. That's different. That's
Remember
different.
how he
That's
kills
different. That's different. Because
Remember
this
how
is the
he
difference. This
kills
is
Zod?
why that's different than Tony Stark. He didn't create Zod.
Actually,
He didn't.
his dad
Zod was
did.
coming here anyway. Zod was coming to Earth,
His
regardless
dad
of whether
created that
Superman.
problem.
Let's be clear. That's not his fault. My point is this:
That's
if
what I
Superman.
said about Tony Stark.
All
That
right,
wasn't
let's say
all
this
his
because I'm
fault.
hyped now, y'all.
His
I'm gonna just let
dad
y'all know.
Look,
Anybody
no,
who's enjoying, I'm hyped now. I'm hyped now.
No. I know it's your birthday, but you want to chill it out because we were really in the middle of Julian talking about what he's geeking out about, and we just went way left
Honestly,
field.
but don't know. It's fine because I don't have too much anyway. Because I'm like, I just.
Because I want all the smoke, Mo.
I've
I
been
want
like,
all the smoke.
I've been watching.
I'm tired of you
it's
talking
really
shit.
I've been
I'm
watching.
tired of
a
you
lot
coming
of
on my
stuff.
show telling me about Tony Stark. We don't
Lord,
like
have
him.
mercy.
We don't like Tony Stark on this
We
show.
don't like him.
Okay.
Okay.
The only thing that we- the only thing I know that we don't like
because
is
I
Xander.
honestly
The only
really
thing I
do
know
like
we don't
the way
like.
Robert Downey Jr. actually plays Tony Stark.
That's not the question. That's not what we're
you're
asking.
right, but you are right. Tony Stark as a character is not the most likable character.
Robert Downey Jr. is not the
meant to be
issue.
likable.
Robert Downey Jr. was
It's meant to be
great.
a dynamic character.
But he is dynamic. He is dynamic.
Rakia, let me just say this one thing, and then I'm gonna leave it alone.
When he's played by this bitch. You get me?
I'm gonna
So,
say
like,
one thing, and then I'm gonna leave it alone, Mo.
Thanks, Brittany.
So essentially, it's like this. This is why the difference between Superman and Iron Man. If Superman was not on the planet Earth, would Zod still have come? Yes. And if he wasn't there, Zod would have taken over. So therefore, the collateral
Which version are we
damage
talking about?
was. We're talking about Man of Steel. Therefore, the collateral damage that happened in Metropolis was in fact necessary. Now, if Tony Stark did not exist, would Uncle Stark have had an iron suit? No.
But Uncle Stark created Tony Stark's iron suit by trying to kill him. Well, did you
Girl,
not?
bye. Girl, bye. I could try to kill a lot of people. Just because I try to kill you, Mo, don't mean you're gonna make an iron suit.
Well, if I'm in the middle of nowhere,
You're not gonna make no
and
goddamn iron
I
suit.
have
Mo.
travel that is going towards my heart. And if
Mo.
I'm smart, I'm going to create some type of
No.
something
My
to
point
protect
is,
me
just because you
against,
try to kill somebody,
the
you're
Taliban
saying one
that
means the other. You're saying one means the other. No, just because you try to kill somebody does not mean that their response is naturally, well, he tried to kill me, so I got to make an iron suit.
No, he made an iron suit to get out. That was the best, because they were trying to make him to make those weapons of mass destruction.
You're
Instead,
explaining
he made
things. You're
it
being very Republican right now because you're derailing.
Oh,
I'm not derailing.
He did not just
That's
call
what
you
we do on this
Republican.
show, Duryea.
I'm sorry, you're right.
For
You're right.
your own
You're right.
rules.
That's
For your own rules.
Those were
That's a very-
actually not my rules.
Anyways, ways. Ooh,
Guys,
okay.
can I introduce you guys to one of my children really fast?
Aw,
I
I've
just know
gotta
he
keep
hates
you.
everybody. No, not this one. The other one, maybe. Another time. Y'all saw her backstage, but it's hard to get her to actually come and sit with me. She's actually she'll come and sit with me, but it's hard to get me to show her on camera. She's like, she's weird. She sees the camera and she's like, I gotta go. It's
Too much.
Okay,
and she's
so-
gangsta. That bitch, she'll slice you. She doesn't play. Sorry.
Duryea, so what are you geeking out about, Lord?
Well, I'm geeking out about the fact that Tony Stark creates his own villains. And all right.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm geeking out about Jeremy Renner, and them trying to cancel him again.
Or
The same stuff from the past. Apparently, they feel like the whole R.I.P. Renner has been trending on Twitter today.
Oh my.
Yeah, they're trying to get him canceled, and they're trying to get his show shut down again because of the accusation that his wife made, which I didn't even know about. So I'm geeking out about that. I mean, I feel like
which one is Jeremy Renner again?
Hawkeye.
Yeah, but what
I feel like
what comments did he
apparently
make?
he was abusive apparently to his wife, but I guess they didn't find any probable cause that it was true, and he said it was all just slander, and so they canceled his production, and then after investigating they uncanceled it, and now he's filming it, and now for some reason Twitter has decided to take up arms again with it. I just think I'm not really geeking out about it. It's just one of those things. It's like, man, like, how do I feel about it? I feel like I know how I feel about people putting their hands on people. Don't put your hands on people. So I really hope that it's not true.
What is the wife's name?
I don't know. I read the article like 5 minutes ago.
Wow.
Because I needed a geeking out thing. We just did this on Monday.
Right.
Well,
you know what else I'm actually geeking out about? I'm geeking out about Phase 4 in general. After the MCU speculation thread, I'm geeking out about Phase 4. We're not going to talk about what we talked about, but I'm going to say this. I'm geeking out about everything that could possibly come in Phase 4, specifically the X-Men, because I have decided that the X-Men, damn it, I can't say that. I have decided that the creators of Marvel are literally going to do whatever the fuck they want to do at this point. They're gonna treat us every step of the way. They're gonna give us everything we want and more, and it's becoming more and more apparent.
Feige runs all of it now. He runs the films, the cartoons, as well as the damn comic books. So they're all completely streamlined under Feige.
But the thing about it is, I think sometimes in situations like this, I expect the people who now have the wheel to not drive, because I think that's what we're so used to in Hollywood. Like, now you have access to everything, and you're just going to withhold it. But what it seems like they're going to do is literally overload us with it. Like, y'all want it? Here it is. And we're going to just like, I'm just waiting for something. Because you have to think about it. The worst Marvel movie I've ever seen was awesome. The worst Marvel experience I ever had was dope. And I'm like to me, I think, I'm not going to say what do I think the worst one was?
What?
Captain.
Captain.
Really?
I'd have to say Iron Man 3.
Why Captain Marvel?
No, I'm sorry.
Iron Man 3 is a good one too. Yeah, that was a candidate. Captain Marvel to me, because after I watched it, I literally said to myself after I watched it, well, won't be watching that again. It was cool. It was a cool ass movie, but it was just like I thought the fight scenes were you know what I'm saying, when she got her back. I guess for me the issue was this: like you created this character who's like super fucking powerful so that we could fight Thanos, because I was never afraid for that woman.
But I don't think she was supposed to be like the main protagonist for Thanos. You got me?
No, she wasn't.
I think the point was just to create.
It's supposed to be Adam Warlock. But remember,
I think the point was to make. I think they should have made, if they're going to introduce a character that powerful, I want to see, like, because when Doctor Strange came about, I was scared. Like, every character that's introduced is like, oh my god, I'm nervous. But with her, it's just like, okay, now all of a sudden she's got like unlimited power, period, and we're just going to watch her destroy shit for the next 45 minutes. Okay, great.
Okay, well, what you think they're going to do with Spectrum? In Captain Marvel 2?
No, I think with Spectrum, by that time, they're going to start, I think, if we talk about what we're seeing on WandaVision and all this stuff, they're clearly going to start introducing characters that are extremely powerful in general, and putting them against each other. I guess that makes sense
with like how very little she was involved, considering in Endgame. Like,
what are we going to do with her? What are we going to do with her?
But that was kind of one of the things I was saying.
I mean, like she was there in the very beginning, and she was there at the very end.
Because at the end of the day, it's not interesting. Let's be clear, it's not interesting to watch her fight anybody else except Thanos in that movie. Her doing anything else would have been boring.
No, I don't think that's necessarily true.
Rather,
I think
I get what he means. Rather, she would have been too overpowering. She would have been too over. That's why, and it would have been boring.
No, I don't think so either. I think the problem with Captain Marvel is that just overall she's just vanilla, and I think they picked the wrong Marvel to bring in to the movies. Into the movie universe?
I don't think it's so much about her being powerful. I think it's about the progression to that power was too quick.
I'll give you that.
Because look at Wanda. Wanda has. Let's be clear. Wanda, basically
barely
what we're
tapped into her shit.
Wanda is.
I don't feel that either.
Wait, let me say. Wanda has always had access to that power. Always.
Okay.
The writers progressed it slowly, so it was interesting to watch.
Still disagree because Hulk has always been powerful from day one.
That's why his shit wasn't interesting.
Well,
I'm sorry, but the interesting thing about Hulk is not his power; it's his struggle with his. Right, she doesn't have anything like that. My point is, you need to give this character, whether they're powerful or not, you need to give them a struggle, and she never had it out. In my opinion, a legit. The biggest struggle she had was getting her memory back. And that's not interesting.
I think that's because more so they didn't take enough time to deal with her past. They just kind of put her in there, and they were like,
"That's my point, Mo."
But at the same time, if you go back from a perspective of the comics, she really doesn't have a lot of background to begin with. So I really don't think she was the best character to pick. Because her claim to fame for Captain Marvel is that her powers was taken by Rogue, and she was put in a coma.
Which is funny because Rogue still doesn't do any of that like photon shooting. You know what I mean? Rogue doesn't even.
Well, that's because Rogue took the powers of the invulnerability and also flight. That's what
I mean.
Got out
but
of
like
her.
she usually she doesn't normally selectively choose powers. She just takes all of them generally.
That's
and that's
true,
why it's like it's funny that
true.
she would selectively put her.
Leave that out. If I'm taking your powers, Miss Marvel,
take so much that I'm gonna leave you in a coma and basically incapacitate you for the rest of the Marvel universe.
But I'm not gonna take this photon.
But I'm not gonna take the photon blaster and all this other stuff. I'm gonna take this flight and super strength.
But at the same time, no, maybe she didn't know how to use it.
That's the only thing. So that's what I feel like there's certain things that they've kind of not really tapped into, just because there's gaps that they can close in these ways, and especially with the way the universe is.
Well, my point is saying what I'm excited. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying this. When it comes to Captain Marvel, the movie wasn't interesting to me, not because of her and her character. It was because the conflict wasn't heightened. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like there was a good enough conflict. I feel like she got these powers. These people were after her. The story was really her realizing that she was so powerful that she had to protect the universe. And it's like that could have took 3 movies, but let's make it 1. So that way, all we know is like she's so like. And to me, that wasn't interesting. In my opinion, they came too quick when it comes to that storyline.
Yeah, I will agree that they were trying to get away from mutants. So they was really trying to focus on the Kree and the Inhumans. So I think that's the reason why that movie got rushed.
So yeah,
and I don't think it's the
because remember the Inhumans came out after that, right? The show.
I just think they could. They do it with every other character where we see them progressively get better and better and better and better and better. They could have done that with her. They just didn't want to because the point was to have her present during Infinity War. Because they wanted to have another character. They wanted to have more than one character who could go toe to toe with Thanos, and that's what it was. They wanted, because you look at it, the main Avengers, they had to do him as a trio.
Well, no, Thor was able to go toe to toe with him
for a minute, a little bit. Not the way Carol and Wanda were. Thor couldn't do what they did.
But Wanda had a better character arc than I'll give you that. She did have a better character arc.
Guys, that's my point. It's not about it's the character arc because Wanda really you have to realize Wanda this is the first time if you watch WandaVision, this is the first time we're having like Wanda focusing on specifically making her powers greater, right? But throughout the series, she literally goes from just tapping foreheads to doing like literally just by sheer I'm mad and I'm doing this thing, right?
We knew that from the first
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as writers, they did that strategically where they were like, we're gonna show her use her powers this little way and this little way and this, and then we're just gonna keep doing like that. As writers, they did it. We never had an item where it was like, we're gonna show her having to make her power stronger. It's just that she just on a whim was like, I didn't think to use it this way until then. They could have done the same thing with Captain Marvel, where it wasn't just like an explosion of power. Because when she first got... Okay.
But it was crammed in one movie. That's the
right.
problem. Wanda had 3 movies to do this.
Wait,
that's
guys,
literally what I'm saying.
Wait. So
that they could have taken longer to do it.
So the other theory
maybe
is
not
this.
because they were trying to cram everything else. I mean, you have
that's what I'm saying, and that's why you're asking me. I'm telling you why I didn't like the movie, and it's because they crammed it into the movie. And you're basically saying, yeah, they crammed it into the movie, and I'm like, yes, and that's why I didn't like it.
But I don't think that makes it a bad movie because
I didn't say it was a bad movie. I said the worst. I said my least favorite movie was Awesome, and that was just my least favorite one. That's all I'm saying. That's my least favorite.
I can see that. Okay, but I will say that
I disagree. I feel like the worst movie.
You're not gonna disagree that that's my least favorite movie.
I'm gonna to your own point to kind of help heighten it and just turn this around a little bit, because what you had just said is something really, really important here. Because now, what if we are talking about now they're going to be able to introduce, let's say, a lot of our characters from the X-Men that we do love, and there is a one character who has yet to have the addition of her that we have just talked about, and how else are you going to have that addition of her without having Captain Marvel herself in order to steal these powers from? But not only Rogue, but Rogue, Captain Marvel Rogue. Perhaps that's the one that they're moving towards giving us. But you can't actually do that without actually having Captain Marvel in the universe. You have to give her something. You have to introduce her eventually at some point. You know what I mean?
But if you were doing it as a preparation for Rogue, I think.
But why not?
I
think that's an epic. That's an epic because we.
I agree. I don't think they're doing it. I think at this point they would, but I don't think they're doing it for a preparation for Rogue because we haven't even talked about mutants, let alone discovered Rogue, let alone had Rogue hook up with Mystique, because Rogue stole her powers because she was evil. Mystique told her to do it because her and Mystique had beef.
Yeah.
So we have to establish all of that in order to. So if you're going to introduce, and I think it's more thing that they're thinking. Oh, now that we have X-Men, we can do it. But I don't think she was created for that.
No, but also you have to remember at the time that she was put on the timeline, they didn't own the rights to
that part.
So, and they were at a point where they were actually phasing out mutants in the comic books because they were like, why are we trying to promote mutants in the comic books when it's only giving fanfare to Fox with their movies?
Exactly.
So they tried to move to the Inhumans, and if anything, I think, Julian, that they were trying to move more so towards the Inhumans because the Kree were basically the ones that created the Inhumans. Well, so I think that's what they were trying to do with Captain Marvel. I don't think the only reason why Captain Marvel got pinholed with Thanos is because the Inhumans failed. So if anything, the worst movie out of the damn MCU was that damn Inhumans movie they tried to push out and turn into a TV show.
But what I'm saying is
that was the worst.
Now we're not debating what the worst one was. What we're saying is the one what I'm saying was the one I liked the least.
We heard you.
Now those are two different debates.
Inhumans more than you like Captain Marvel. Is that what you're saying here?
I'm saying I haven't seen Inhumans, so I have no opinion on it.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is, out of everything that I've encountered, that's the movie I enjoyed the least. And it was. And we said all this to go back to my main point of being like, Marvel's awesome. That's all I was trying to say is that their worst content is still dope. So they're gonna give us. They're about to give us everything we want. No matter what, my point is back to what I'm geeking out about. Lord, this is the longest episode of my life. Geeking out about the fact that no matter what Marvel does next, I believe that it's going to be fucking epic. Yes. Because they're going to go ham like they know what we want. They need to do. I wish politicians would do what Kevin Feige's going to do. He's going to give the people what they want.
Yes.
He's going to give the people what they want. He said, y'all want Mephistos? We get Mephistos. If we want X-Men, we get X-Men. You know they start talking about doing a Storm solo project? They're talking about making a TV series about Storm.
From your lips
but a TV series, right. I would actually I will watch that to death, but...
Oh, that's another thing I'm geeking out about.
Give me just a whole
that's what I'm geeking out about. Now that Mo's here, I think I said this to y'all before. I know Rick here. I just want to say this real quick because Mo is here.
Okay.
Anna Diop was spotted on set filming a cameo for Thor, God of Thunder, God, Lightning, and Love and Thunder. Now they said it's a small cameo in the movie, and I'm like, okay, Small cameo. That means it's somebody
Anna
recognizable.
She plays Starfire on Titans.
I hope, and they said it's rumored to be Storm. That's what they said.
I don't know, because they gave her such hell being Starfire, and I really hated for her.
But she's awesome at Starfire.
But the fandom for Titans has been really shitty about her from the time that she was introduced as Starfire, just from like the promo.
Well, that's because they wanted Starfire to be their Starfire.
Right.
They want Starfire to be white.
They wanted her to be
white. White.
Let's not say voluptuous. Let's just say white. They wanted her to be.
And more.
They wanted to be white turned orange. Kind of thing. I got it.
When I watched the Titan series, I was like taken aback, and I was like, wow. Like, they did a really good job as far as the storylines and as well as her character development. Because
except for Raven. I'm so tired of Raven whining.
Raven is whiny and emo. That is her essence.
She's not. She's emo. She's not whiny. She's emo. She's not whiny.
She had to get. Well, she was whiny before she.
You're right. You can
her dad.
But that's my thing. I was okay with that. I was okay with her being whiny up until she handled her daddy. But even after she handled her daddy and she's still whining, girl, you got a whole demon living in your head. You better get right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, where's Raven? That like, nigga, you are acting like an imbecile. Get your shit together. Like, where's that Raven? I don't want this Raven. I
think that was coming with time, because, and then also, if anybody was a whiny brat, it was probably
Hawk.
That too,
and Dove.
More so.
But I think how much more rewarding would it be?
Steroids he was taking.
Hawk and Dove get on my nerve. Hawk and Dove get on my nerve, girl.
Yeah,
every time they have a scene together, I think Dove is beautiful. The actress is beautiful, but every time they have a scene together, I'd be like, oh.
They didn't have the proper chemistry.
They didn't have what?
Yeah.
They didn't have the proper chemistry.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest issue.
I hate that shit.
To me, I think it was I can see that. I think it's also the writing. Like, to me, it's just like, first of all, I didn't understand the soft introduction to his addiction. Like, the very first episode, he gets home from fighting and he shoots up something. And they never talk about it again for like 8-10 episodes. I thought he was shooting up like a fucking just like muscle relaxer, because he only did it once. And he did it like in his leg, like a fucking steroid.
I knew immediately that was steroids.
Yes, but they're not saying that it's steroids. They're saying it's heroin. Because later in the series, he be getting cocaine, like he relapses. So I thought it was steroids, but they're saying no, he's an addict. All of a sudden he's an addict, and I said, he's an addict? How is he an addict? And then I'm like, oh, because of that, like the way he shot it in his leg looked like he was doing steroids. It didn't look like he was doing heroin. You know, like
I think they probably should have did a better job to
establishing it. Once that became a storyline, they were consistent. But up until then, I was like, yo, he didn't act like an addict until y'all didn't have nothing else for him to do.
No.
Now he want to act like an addict. So it's like, okay, I feel like they should have gave them a better, or they should have handled their storyline a little better, because all it is like.
I mean, frankly, I think they lost the ball with them, because their main focus was on damn Starfire, with her sexy self. Lord have mercy.
I knew that was coming. I really love her.
Steroids?
What?
Sorry, it's really random. You guys said steroids, and I was like, asteroids. Because so a friend had to put together a production, and that was part of it, and it was just
random.
It brought me all back. Sorry.
That's all right.
No,
well, I guess
Julie tried to tell us a joke on Monday, and we're all just like,
right.
Oh my god, that horrible joke.
Oh, guys, whatever.
That horrible joke.
Well, I guess really quickly, let me go over what I'm geeking out about.
yes, please.
Blade is in production.
Yeah.
Blade.
With Mahershala Ali. It is in production. Rumored to be in production right now. So hopefully that'll be available for phase 5. I believe.
Yeah. I think so.
Also,
it's on the tail end of
phase 4. Yeah. Also, Doctor Strange is currently in production. Loki is currently in production as well. So we're gonna have a good fall as far as movies.
I feel like Mo just stole what I'm geeking out about and just said it better.
Oh my god, dude!
Because I just said I was geeking out about phase 4, did I not? And she just basically, and they just was like, okay, well, I'm gonna actually name.
I mean, she threw phase 5 in
production
there.
date
She
drop.
said phase 5.
I don't like that's whack.
She took it a step
I feel
further.
so tried.
Really, what she did is,
Well, I can't
what she did is she went up to
What do you want
you.
from me, okay?
So what you say?
I said I can't talk about Wanda. So what do you want from me? That's what I've been insisting about.
Talk about it. Talk
This is
about
Wanda
Wanda.
Vision.
I
Okay,
love
said
that
it.
bitch.
Wanda
Let's
Vision
talk
has
about
been
her.
my.
You know what, Mo?
Isn't
You know what? You know what?
Yes.
You know what, Mo? I'm gonna leave it up to Rakia.
I'm gonna catch
it's
up
her
by
show.
the end of the week.
I don't have a problem with you talking
Let
about
her be
Wanda
the
at this
tiebreaker.
point because it's done been. I don't care. Talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to do a whole show about Wanda. But if you want to mention Wanda, go ahead and mention Wanda.
Okay.
If Rakia say it's okay, I'm gonna leave until it's her fault.
I don't have a problem with mentioning Wanda.
Rakia, you're supposed to say no.
For the record, I'm on Mo's side of most things because I feel like I don't want to be on her bad side.
Spoiler alert! I'm excited. I'm so happy. I can't wait for tomorrow night.
Why?
At 3 a.m.
Wait a minute. So you get to watch it earlier? I'm jealous.
No, it feels like Thursday.
No, that's what time. No, that's what time it drops. I guess it's waiting for West Coast.
Wait, what is
We
dropping
hit
at
midnight
3
on Friday.
Oh, WandaVision.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be.
Y'all know, look, Mo, you might as well go to sleep and try to watch that in the morning because you know. All the people
that's
trying
what I'm
watch
gonna
that
do.
joint.
So wait, tomorrow
All the
night
people
at 3
trying to watch
a.m.
that
or
joint
3
at 3
a.m.
o'clock and they'll
tonight?
crash the internet again.
Wait,
Well,
3 a.m. tonight or 3 a.m.
obviously that's what I'm
tomorrow
gonna
night?
do.
The 5th.
I'll
5th
probably
at 3
wake
a.m.
up.
Fifth tomorrow? No, Friday morning.
Friday
at
morning
3 in the
at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
The 5th at 3
Yeah,
a.m.
late
And if
Thursday.
you try to
night,
watch
early
it,
Friday.
then everybody and their mother and their boyfriend and sister and cousin gonna try to watch it
And
too,
also
and
watch
then y'all
it.
gonna break the internet. And y'all gonna be
That's the way it
mad.
always happens.
Instead of just going to sleep, wait till the morning, getting you some Toastos, some Cheetos, whatever cereal you eat.
It's like launch day. It's like launch day on WoW. Nothing ever fucking works because everyone's fucking logging on at the same time. It's crazy. That's it. Or you're in queue for like 20 years.
That looks like spam.
That does look like spam.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Mo. I'm not Mo. Rakia. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no, because like, is this Friday's last episode or is the next?
Yeah,
Friday?
that's the series finale.
Yeah. The series
Okay.
finale.
Feige has already announced
That's
that.
crazy.
not
That's
doing
crazy
a
that they're
sequel.
only giving like one.
As of right now.
One
They're saying it's a
season of
series finale, not a season.
Yes.
No, series. It's a one season. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
series
I
finale.
honestly don't think
Feige's
it's
already
gonna be
stated
used.
he doesn't have any plans on having another season of it as of right now.
Which means that Wanda's gonna die in Universe of Madness.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
She does die and come back to life a few times, yeah?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
She's gonna die in Multiverse of Madness.
True.
Mark my
That's
words.
True.
Okay.
That's
Well,
true.
I mean,
So,
she's
but-
a,
so
And then they bring her
that's
back for
dying
Phoenix
in
when
the
Phoenix
end,
is
she's a
finally
Nexus
introduced.
character, so it doesn't matter.
She's a what?
She's a Nexus character.
Right, I'm just saying she's
Yeah.
dying in that movie.
Okay, but so she's
What are
maybe
you
dying,
talking,
but
Heroes
like
of the
listening
Storm
to the
here,
end.
or
I didn't say it was the
Marvel?
end, but I feel like they're gonna kill that
I just
character.
want to make sure
before
that's
the end.
clarified. Like that, like dying doesn't mean that she's gonna be gone. Just
Right,
you know.
because I mean, hell, she was wiped from the existence with Thanos in the snap, but
She was white from the existence. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding.
White.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I heard you.
yeah, she was part of the blip.
The blip.
We got a question in the audience. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mo.
Who do you,
This is your
so
moment.
who do you
I
think
think
the cameos?
I think the cameos already happened because Paul Bettany is a jokester. So he said he was really excited about this cameo. I think it's going to be himself.
But
That's what I think it is.
I'm the cameo.
I'm the cameo.
I think it's gonna be Storm.
No,
No.
like
He's
already
so
said
hell
I think
bent
it's
on
gonna be
Storm.
Storm.
Everything about
I think it's gonna be
everything about
Storm because
Storm,
let me tell you why I think it's gonna be
by the way,
Storm.
every
I
week.
think it's gonna be Storm because they keep talking about things happening that are unusual, atmospheric changes,
I think she's
pressure.
great with climate change.
Yeah, climate change,
It's about
and then and so I feel like I think it's honestly after today's thread, I think it's gonna be Mephisto's. I actually do. I really feel like they're gonna give, like I said, I feel like they're gonna give us exactly what we want.
yeah,
Doctor
it could be
Strange.
Doctor Strange.
I can see Doctor Strange. I can see that
Could be,
too.
but that means
If Wanda gets like out of hand, I can see Doctor Strange.
right, because we
That's
know
a good
that
one.
that's
Or it comes to
that's gonna be
saving.
leading into his movie eventually.
Right.
I think whatever the ending is, it's not going to be neat.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like chaotic as fuck, and it's going to open like a bunch of doors.
But that's the thing. I feel like it should. That's why I don't think it'll be Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is too good. You get me?
I think whatever the ending's going to be is going to piss us off, because we're going to have to wait until Doctor Strange to see what's next. That's why I think it's going to be. That's a good reason.
It's gonna be
so messed up, and like in a good way, that like we're having to have all these speculations via WandaVision and having to wait for like that kind of conclusion in Doctor Strange movie. But
like 3 years from now.
I think it's gonna
we still gotta go through
Doctor Strange is in production.
I think it's gonna be
it's in production. We're talking about when it's gonna be.
We gotta wait for it though.
Yeah.
It's coming out.
It's gotta get filmed, edited, promoted. All that stuff, and we still haven't even seen Black Widow.
Yeah,
well,
that did not even come out.
Pushing that to the side because they don't.
That's my point. Like the whole thing, the whole like layout.
But you have to remember the pandemic really screwed everything over, because the original calendar, Doctor Strange movie was supposed to come out either this week or next week.
Right, and Wanda wasn't supposed to be until after that. Wasn't it?
No. Wanda's supposed to be first.
Okay.
And then the Doctor Strange sequel was supposed to be coming out right after to conclude it. Right. So I don't know if they changed it. Also, everybody, Julia keeps on talking about Mephisto. I doubt that Mephisto is actually going to be the big bad, due to the fact that Disney is really trying to push over into China.
Well, which would be who? If that's the case,
Disney Plus.
No, if they're pushing into China, wait, what are you trying to think?
Like reach the market.
Disney Plus is not currently.
Okay, so then, which big bad would they go with if they're trying to reach China? Is my point.
Well, Kang the Conqueror is coming to the MCU, so they could use a version of Kang the Conqueror that
but there has to be some kind of immediate big bad, no? Unless it's Wanda.
Well, actually, the Kang the Conqueror and Wanda do have a history, where it was a similar storyline where she had created them damn kids again, and it was.
And maybe it's this one technically. Mm-hmm. Maybe they bring them together rather here. You get me? Exactly. So then the big bad. So the big bad could just be Wanda in Madness. Yeah, they defeat Wanda now, and then you have now King. What is her name?
Kang the Conqueror. Yeah,
but what I was saying though is like we're getting all these speculations for WandaVision, but we also are gonna get speculations with Bucky and the Falcons,
and also Loki
show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the speculations will be a little different for Bucky and Falcon.
Yes, but I'm saying Falcon, that's more
I agree.
stuff that, like, we have to like.
Right. I'm just saying with Bucky and Falcon. I'm saying with Bucky and Falcon though, I'm assuming that their storyline won't have the kind of implications that Wanda's storyline has, because we have to realize like what we've already seen on Wanda changed everything about everything we've ever experienced with Marvel. Like episode 8, 1,000% game changer. Like introducing that kind of magic, the way that like they went in.
Yeah, the chaos magic. Yeah,
they went in, girl. They talked
about
not only with let's be clear. It wasn't just the magic of what's her name? It wasn't just the magic of Agatha. That girl had runes, which is a whole which talks about.
But she was just like, "Girl, you don't know this?
You don't know runes?" Which means it's other folks out there who know about runes,
right?
And so they just busted the door wide open. So I feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know unless they're gonna deal with, like somebody said, they could be dealing with Skrull. Unless they're gonna be doing stuff like that, I don't see them having the same.
I don't see them doing that. I just think it just adds more to like how do we piece all this stuff to the big picture, like the world building, and like how are we gonna piece this into the big picture, and what is like Endgame 2.0 going to look like? It's not necessarily like Endgame, but like what is the big thing?
Falcon and Winter Soldier, their focus is going to be more so on keeping Captain America's platform alive, because they've already incorporated U.S. Patriot, excuse me.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the big bad in that storyline, because the U.S. government is saying no. We don't want this black man to be Captain America. We want you, Mr. White Man, to be Captain America. You the one that should be Captain America. But also, there's a possibility there could be an inclusion of a black man that has similar powers to Captain America, because Captain America wasn't the first experiment according to the comic books. They had black men that were in the military that they also experimented on before they got to Captain America.
Historically
There's a
accurate.
possibility that one of those characters will be heading to the MCU via the Winter Soldier and Falcon show. That's what I'm really excited about. Also, I'm really, fingers crossed, I really hope Feige brings in Blue Marvel somehow.
It's more likely to happen now with Monica Rambeau.
We do want to.
Yeah, because her and Monica Rambeau dated. Yes,
it's more likely to happen now, because now that Monica Rambeau is getting the love she's getting, if they don't give her a love interest, bruh.
Wait, her introduction was technically was Captain Marvel, yeah, because I just saw her for the first time. I want to say.
Monica Rambeau is in WandaVision too, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We first see her as an adult in WandaVision, but she was a child in Captain Marvel.
Oh, so she's a child in Captain.
Yes.
She's in.
And Tiona.
Oh yeah, that's Monica. Sorry, her mom is something Rambeau.
Marie.
Yeah,
that's what
Maria.
I was sorry.
She's one of the founders for Sword, I guess.
So
she's the daughter.
She was one of the what?
Founders for Sword.
Yes.
Yeah. So
now the thing I didn't like though that they changed the story around.
You're at like about 50 minutes out.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do a quick.
Guys, we're gonna come back to a joke. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No jokes. Nothing.
No, I got bad.
Justice for
I know this is so good though.
Monica Rambeau.
Play commercial.
All right, let's do it. Commercial it is.
You're gonna need a babysitter for your own children because, you're gonna need lots of energy to pass out virtually to everyone who's looking down in the dumps. You're gonna need to know how to work the Zooms and things, because see, I don't know nothing about the Zooms and the computers and all them things and the FaceTimes and the Google Classrooms and things. And I be struggling, so you're gonna need to know how to do that, baby. You're gonna need to know exactly what you're doing when it comes to that.
Those were ads from Rem Alternis, who does live RPG missions from Shadowrun. You can find that every Tuesday at 8 on Twitch at twitch.tv/Master of Rem. Also an ad for, what is that sound? Also an ad for, it'sjessicamyers.com. That was one of their newly renovated project called the Fundraiser. And the other ad was for the Mompreneur Plug, which is a YouTube channel who's got well over 15,000 followers. It's really awesome. Tips on entrepreneur life, motherhood, and relationships. Head over there and subscribe today. All right, back to you, Rikia.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
Because I got some camera hogs right here. I didn't get to talk about what I'm geeking out.
You can still talk about it, girl. We free fall.
I'm about to. Okay, anyway.
That's right, girl. You take back your time. You can claim your time.
Reclaiming my time.
You can claim your time, girl.
So, of course, I'm geeking out about WandaVision, and it's made me want to go back and watch some of the other movies. Some of the movies, just kind of where they've mentioned different things, just to kind of refresh my head. But I started watching The Mysteries of Sulphur Springs. It's like a Disney Channel TV show. I'm sorry, y'all. I got young folks, but
it's a baby show.
No, but it's about this family that's moved into this old hotel that used to like be this big deal until a girl went missing like probably 30 years ago, and like they're trying to like they say the hotel that they're trying to renovate is haunted.
Not a
but
murder
like this is like this big like town secret, like what happened. So like I'm kind of into that right now. I know it's kiddie, but like it's it's a mystery.
I'm not gonna judge you. I've been obsessed with 911 and Line 11 Lone Star and Fox. I would not judge you.
Yes,
girl. Like and crying, like, why does she have to die? It's all right.
No.
Or praising God because the fictional character lived through that traumatic experience.
Oh,
I'm
speaking of choice and all that. Yeah, it's terrible. So I'm not at all.
Wait, were you not just saying that you just saw all of Steven Universe? Like, you know what I mean? Kids shows these days are pretty,
they're pretty traumatic. Yes.
They're like really well written and things. You're like, okay, what am I watching here?
Rebecca
for me or for my
thing,
child? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Especially Steven Universe Future. When he had that whole PTSD episode.
Mm-hmm.
I cried.
Things like that, yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, the Grinch Stole Christmas, you back?
Say what?
I said, hey, the Grinch Stole Christmas, you back?
I'm the Grinch. I'm the Grinch. First of all, I love Christmas. I would never steal it. Second of all,
it's his birthday. He can cry if he wants to.
Oh, okay.
Right. Ain't nobody can't look. I ain't had no birthday sex. I ain't had no birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Whose fault is that?
Huh?
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
You.
Oh.
They have to ask for that. You'll be all right.
I don't want to. You know what? I realize I'm in a place where like
no one's offered you. Is that what it is?
First of all,
nobody offered me.
I'm just kidding. I'm
embarrass
sorry.
the fuck out of you on this end today. And you know
Oh my God.
Don't even do it. He's the second person in the last 3 hours that's come for me on some shit that almost brought like Rashad out. Don't bring out Rashad.
Let me guess.
No, but don't worry because me neither.
The Tristan.
Oh, no, I'm not.
And mine's coming on the tail.
What happened, Mo?
I said, was it Tristan?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
You know this nigga had the nerve to hit on my ex in front of me?
Are you kidding?
He didn't know he was my ex.
Oh,
but I was like,
you know he's looking for a husband.
I forgot.
No, wait. Did y'all show up together? Wait. He didn't know, but did y'all show up together?
Huh?
No, but it was the last stream.
Oh, it was on the last stream.
You said did me and my ex show up together?
Oh,
right.
Just
kidding. He doesn't realize that it was the last stream. Like
that was very Garrett and that other kid that one time. That was a little awkward. He was like,
Garrett and what other kid?
He was like, bye, whatever his name is. He specifically said his name. He called him out. I was like, ooh.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, you said bye specifically to this boy that you.
Oh, you said his government name.
He said his government name just today. You met him just today, and you pointed him out to say goodbye on this. It wasn't a stream. I might have been.
I know you're talking about. You talking about when Dondre was on the stream and Tristan was in the comments.
No, it was something. Lord. No, they were both. We were doing a read. I think it was one of the table reads. Sorry, totally tangent, but yeah.
Okay, but either way, like, don't you ever try me like that again. Dude.
I know. I
would say this. It's not that. It's just more like
joking.
I just feel like this. I'm getting old. I want somebody that can fuck every day.
Yes, girl. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
I want somebody that can fuck every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because otherwise it's fucking work, and who needs any time?
It is. I mean, it's work. It's like
I don't want any randoms anymore.
It's not anymore. It's not ever. It's not anymore. It's just like, man,
it's
but like
work.
It would be great if it was,
I give up the work is my point for
consistency.
Consistency. Thank you. I would give up the work for consistency. Consistency.
I mean, intimacy, consistency, laughter.
No, it's a lot of other things.
Some business about themselves. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta add that to it.
You can out late night edition. No, because it really is super late.
It is late night though. Oh, come
right.
On,
Thank you. But let's go to our main topic of
we're talking about the sexy
prey and the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the sexy version about it, which is not at all, which is the best part about it.
So are we going to talk about how Harley Quinn as a character sucks?
Sir, you bite your tongue.
Sucks? I don't know about sucks.
She had a sucky beginning.
Is she not? She had a sucky beginning, and is she?
Are we going to say that? So are we going to blame the actor?
What are you talking
about? The writers.
No,
the writers.
We're going to blame the writers.
No.
Okay.
Blame the male
as long as there's someone to blame for the monstrosity that I witnessed watching that movie. I hate Harley Quinn.
Ooh, are you talking about Suicide Squad?
Wait, so you don't like Maggie? Was it Margie?
I don't think it's the actor. I think it's the character.
You think it's a character?
It's definitely the way it's written. But the first installment. Well, did you saw?
I mean, her character was designed to be annoying.
Maybe it was the actor. Honestly, the more I think about it, it might have been the actor. Because I will say this: in Suicide Squad, she was a little less annoying. And I think the reason she was less annoying is because to see that glimpse of her pre-chemical spill.
But isn't that annoying part of her, like, kind of...
She's supposed to be
her essence?
No.
Thank you, right?
Yeah, you watched the TV series.
She's supposed to be an annoying
To me, it's not so much about her annoyance. It was more like, I didn't like her choices.
Oh.
What do you mean you didn't like her choices?
But you take a character like the Joker, right? And you have this character who's all these, like, really extreme circumstances. Yet the people we love, the portrayals of him, was because they took those extreme circumstances and they grounded them in such reality that we saw people. Every moment.
Caricatures. What are you talking about?
I disagree. I feel like when you look at, especially Joaquin Phoenix's version of the Joker, you saw a person who got pushed to that.
Yeah, that was the comic book One Bad Day, basically.
But my point is, with Margot Robbie's version of Harley Quinn, especially in this one, I saw a caricature. I didn't see a real person. I saw her pretending to be this cartoon character. That's what it came off to me. That's my thought, and I said what I said.
Okay,
I will say that perhaps
the reason
that's
why
the version that she
is
was
because she started out as a cartoon character. She originated on Batman the Animated Series back in 1992. So she's.
What does that mean?
She didn't start off. She didn't start off as a comic book. The point is that she didn't start off as a comic book character, so like she technically didn't have as much depth at the beginning until much later.
Joker,
save them.
Okay,
please save them. Please save them.
You can save them.
Okay, I'll save them. So I'm telling you that in the same world with these other actors who are creating these characters as people. Then you have this one character who's just 1,000% like not a person. I didn't like it. I feel like it was, and I see you're saying it's based off a cartoon character, but if I'm an actor playing a cartoon character, I'm not going to research by looking at the goddamn cartoon.
Okay.
I'm going to base my character
in a dark version of her.
Right. I'm going to base my character in truth and reality. Now, if there's a element of if there's a stylistic quality, I get that. You add that onto it, but I feel like it wasn't a realistic character with a quality added onto it, because if the whole piece was like that, I would agree. But I didn't feel like the whole piece, because you look at Black Canary, and not only her, Huntress, they weren't caricatures.
Because their characters aren't based in being a caricature.
You're talking about, it's not consistent. It doesn't tell a well-framed story. To me, she was playing a caricature, not a person. Okay, and you're saying it's okay because it's based off of a cartoon character. And I'm like, but if that was the case, it would have been a cartoon. But it's not. When you translate something from cartoon to live action, it's a different vibe. And to me, she didn't fit the vibe.
But at the same time, if they went the route that you were trying to go,
what route am I trying to go?
Well, no, I think there exists a middle ground.
I'm saying that when you look at the picture as a whole, the entire thing, she stood out negatively to me because she was a caricature, whereas everybody else was a character based in truth that had a heightened element to them.
Okay, so
and again, if they went the route that you're talking, then the character would have fell flat, and then the critiques would have been.
But you don't know that.
Flat? I don't know, because I think that they could.
You don't know it because we didn't. You don't know that because we didn't.
They were given the Suicide Squad.
You didn't. You don't
amped it up in this movie. So yeah, actually I do know because we're going.
You don't know that because we didn't see that movie, so you assume that. That's a totally different statement. No, I'm not
assuming. I'm talking about Suicide Squad.
You're talking about a whole different movie with a whole different director.
Okay,
but
all right.
She is, no, but I think
but
what she's
also,
kind of saying is that Birds of Prey was also, is what she's saying is that like Birds of Prey was known for being so much different from the first one. That like yes, you should watch the second one because it is going to give you an entirely different impression, and not only that, like that's what they're going to go forward with. Is that
they took the director of this movie is
the first
clearly
one,
not the director. The directors of these two movies had
the first impression of her was terrible.
The directors of both of these movies had two different visions for this character, and it was very obvious. And it came across to me. This had an authenticity to it. It was not grounded in reality to me. I felt like the character stood out from the rest in that the rest seemed to be grounded in reality with a heightened element. Like the police character, how she always spoke in those cheesy 80s lines, but she was still grounded in reality. For me, Harley Quinn wasn't grounded in reality.
You know where I will.
I thought it was trash because if you look at the basis of Renee Montoya, she doesn't speak like that. But whatever. Again, she's supposed to be like this. She's supposed to be a character in this world because she's fucking insane.
You know what I will? Okay,
so is the Joker.
But I think
if you notice in this universe, the Joker sucks too.
There can be a compromise. There can be a compromise.
I think you're confusing Joaquin Phoenix character.
No, Joaquin Phoenix was a whole standalone movie. I'm talking about Jared Leto. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Leto,
based on what was actually allowed in Suicide Squad, was trash.
To you.
No, to the
This is the thing about it. This is the thing about me, though. And I'm gonna just say this. Now, one thing you can't change my mind about is a person's acting performance. You can't, because I feel like at the end of the day, if you don't agree, that's one statement. But me, as an actor who's trained in it, and I'm not trying to be, but I have opinions about her choices. I feel like her choices took me. Like every time she made a choice, I was like, why is she doing that? Like, why is she pulling this? Why is she trying to amp this up when nobody else around her is doing that? I get she has a different energy character-wise than the other characters. I felt like hers was inauthentic. I felt like you can have a character who's quirky, out of this world, annoying, but when they're surrounded by all these other characters who also have heightened qualities, but these characters are grounded in reality. That's why you can dive into these characters. To me, you had a deeper emotional connection to Black Canary than you did to what's her name, Harley Quinn, even though the story was about Harley Quinn.
But you're not supposed to have an emotional connection to Harley Quinn like that.
No, you should.
She's the protagonist. You absolutely are supposed to have an emotional.
The purpose of a character is basically spewing out anarchy.
No, like literally, the purpose of that movie was to make us sympathize with what it was like for her to be a woman who was always defined by a man who was finally coming out of her shell. That's literally why it's called, which is literally why the movie is called The Emancipation of. We're supposed to see things from her aspect of how she's changed as a person and developed this side of herself that she didn't know she had because she finally defined herself outside of manhood, which is apparent in her relationship with the girl. But me as a viewer, I did not feel emotionally connected to her because I didn't feel like her performance was grounded in truth. I feel like it was grounded in a caricature. Unlike some of the other characters who I did have, and I'm not, honestly, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I didn't really care for her performance either, but we saw less of her. Now, Black Canary, I cared for her in that little monologue that she did in the hallway where she talked about, well, what did y'all do with my mother when y'all let her die in the street? In that one moment, even though she had other moments of heightenedness, like she almost had this little black exploitation going on with her, but she's still grounded in reality. Therefore, I don't think Jerry would let that happen. She grounded in reality. Therefore, for me, it was easier for me to emotionally connect to her. Whereas with Harley Quinn, I feel like if she had just, I'm not saying that she needed to be dark like Jerry. I'm not saying that she needs to be anything. That's not what I'm saying. That's what y'all are hearing. What I'm saying is she needed to be grounded in reality, meaning there needed to be something real at the root. That's all I'm saying. And that's acting 101. Unless you're doing a piece where everybody's caricatures. And I don't think that's, and so to me, it's like, okay, you have this one character, not only in one character, the central one, who's not grounded. I think what happened was the directors knew they had a character that a lot of people liked and was popular, and they had an actor that a lot of people liked and was popular that people weren't going to criticize negatively. So they just did what the fuck they wanted to do. Nobody's going to criticize. That's Margot Robbie as the beloved Harley Quinn. She can do no wrong.
I don't know.
I don't think it's that easy.
Because I feel like from what I've seen from like reading some stuff was that like Margot Robbie had a lot of input in general for this movie, so like I can see her like you didn't care for the choices. I don't think she would, but I don't think she came out unscathed as far as like her choices were.
I think their biggest problem is that they were trying to go.
I'm not saying that's the biggest problem. I don't actually like the movie. Oddly enough, I like the movie. I didn't like a lot of her choices.
I can't tell.
Now, what I said was I didn't like her. I didn't like her choices. The movie I like. I didn't like her character and her choices. I can enjoy a movie.
I think that you guys are kind of like.
I liked it because I got it. She's
you guys
insane.
both have like really valid points.
She's supposed to be this,
but you're on just different pages.
No, because Mo is telling me that I didn't get the movie.
But that's my point because you guys are on different pages. It's just what my point here is.
But I'm not telling. But that's what I don't like. Listen, Mo.
It's okay. I'm just trying.
You can't tell me. You can tell me how you feel. You can tell me what you think. You can tell me your opinion, but you can't tell me fact. Like, I know these things, I know that things, but you don't. Like, you think them, you feel them, you don't know them, because the only way you would know them is if you saw the version of the movie where they made that other choice that you're talking about. And you didn't see that movie.
Again, they made that other choice you're talking about, the Suicide Squad, and it still sucked. So, moving right along.
Okay, so like, what did you like? Like, okay, Mo, start with you. Mo, go ahead.
Okay. I like that there was a whole caricature with the main character because she's supposed to be annoying. She's supposed to be emotional.
Why she got to start there? I mean, why they got to start there?
And thank you, Destiny Karen, because she was in a fucking toxic relationship. She is literally fucked up.
I didn't say emotionally distant. I said
reality. I'll wait. When her ass come out of a damn domestic violence situation.
I got it.
Cool.
So also, what I did like, I like Journey because she wasn't the whole, even though they flipped race, because in the comic books.
No, in the comic books, she's also black.
She's mainly known as a Caucasian.
But anyway, she is also depicted as black.
In an alternate universe. In the main universe, she's depicted.
The most recent Laurel Lance is, besides Journey, is Katie Cassidy.
And she's Caucasian.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do like the internal conflict that she had due to they picked the type of universe that she was Black Canary's daughter. I like that part. I like that little dynamic. Renee Montoya, that was played by what's her name? Rosie Perez.
Yes.
Shut your face. What?
Yes.
Yes. So for those of you that are still listening or watching at this point, Julian hasn't seen the movie yet.
Why you gotta out me like that? Wait, we're an hour and 23 minutes in. You're gonna out me like that? No. Yeah. I was hoping to skate by the whole.
Although, Julian, when you made that comment, you kind of snitched on yourself.
I know that was good. I kind of set myself up for it.
You were like, "Was Residence for real?" Yeah. Yes.
I'm behind on a lot of movies, clearly. And then, I was prepping for the MCU thing, so I was like, oh my god, at Marvel, there's so much motherfucking shit in that whole universe, so, this I was trying to get to it all.
Right.
I was trying to get to it all. And it was funny, because I was looking for it, too. I was like, let me watch at least, an hour of it, because I was just on one of the streams before.
Right.
And it's supposed to be on Hulu. Is it on Hulu? No, it's not. What is it on?
What movie?
Birds of Prey.
I mean, it's been on
HBO Max. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I'm like, there's 1,012 of these things, man. I don't have them all. Okay.
I think it was briefly on Hulu, but it's been on HBO since.
Because I Googled it and it was on. It said it was on
for a
Hulu,
minute,
so
because it was on Amazon Prime for a little bit, but it's been on HBO for a while, and now that HBO pretty much has
And
all
of course,
the
watch
DC
the movie
content.
right off of HBO regular onto HBO Max. So even if I tried like HBO Go, it's probably not going to even be there.
Well, so technically HBO Go is not really there anymore. It's all like HBO Max.
HBO Max.
HBO Max has everything.
Well, yeah, because HBO Go is just like regular HBO technically, just on HBO.
Well, I mean, they got
online,
rid of
regular
that
HBO.
period.
Yeah,
they got rid of that streaming period. Everything's all rolling on the HBO Max. Hell, even
really? They got rid of HBO Go? I haven't logged on to that in like ages.
No, like legit, like what if HBO Max is no longer a thing? It's like it's HBO Go is no longer a thing. It's HBO Max.
That's crazy.
If you were able to have it connected to your Amazon Prime, it goes directly to HBO Max now. Like it's no longer just like HBO. It's all HBO
exactly.
Max.
But moving right along with, I think the biggest issue with DC is that they do a terrible job of world building.
I would agree.
They, you know, as far as trying to build their universe.
Wait, who are you talking about? DC? Yeah.
Yeah, DC.
There's not nearly enough geeks as there are in the MCU like table who are like.
No, the problem with DC is that they're not consistent.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they don't do a good job world building.
No, it's because they don't care to build a world. They care to have solo experiences. They don't care to build a world. They're not. There is no focal point. There is these different projects that they're making separate of one another. There is no Kevin Feige. There is no, hey, this is the direction we're going. There's no runner.
In the cinematic in the movies, it's a little bit better with their television, their TV shows.
Specifically CW television though.
Right.
Because Titans is solo dolo.
But actually,
but
it also actually I think Greg Berlanti, who is
that's
the Flash and Green Arrow, and like he's got his hands in all of DC
television
TV shows, television,
right.
Whether it's a CW or HBO Max or the DC channel
there's no consistency in the what's happening on the CW and Titans yet
because they're different universes.
That's literally my point. With when you watch Titans, at the beginning of Titans, you see the same look. You see the intro, the same intro on Titans, is the same intro for Aquaman. You know, the whole like DCEU kind of thing, right? Yet that is not even at all in keeping with none of the other movies. My point is that there's no focal point. They're making.
So I guess
now because they were trying to cram everything into Batman v Superman. Mm-hmm. They were trying to catch up with Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So they backtracked because between Batman, Superman, and also Justice League, they both kind of flopped as far as overall sales. So that's why they backed away from it, and they just have their own everybody's coming out with their own solo movies. Which, if anything, they should have did the opposite. Everybody should have their own solo movie coming out to build up this universe. So that way, by the time Justice League came out, we actually gave a shit about who these characters are. I mean, we know those characters if you're a comic book head, but an average person average fan wouldn't necessarily know all the intricacies of Flash, Cyborg, hell, even Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman was smashing to Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So again, Warner Brothers, they were basically just looking at the money that Disney was making, and they tried to implement the same thing without putting in the work, and it showed.
Yeah, it does show, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now the TV shows, you're right, they do a better job. I know that it's a little inconsistent on like Titans compared to
Flash and Green Arrow.
Flash, but also they're different. They're completely different universes. They're within the 52 universe, which is a comic book theme. So and we're not gonna even go there with the animation. If anything, the animation is what's really they do the best in.
In every one of these universes, in every single one of these universes.
And also, I'm a little scared geeking out because they're doing a Batman animated series reboot, and I'm like,
animated series. I get less. I'm less concerned.
Like, why?
I'm less concerned for animated reboots because I feel like they're a little easier to. I'm not saying it's going to be the same. I'm saying it's an easier feat than a live action reboot.
It's a little different though when you're going after a particular series, Batman the Animated Series.
I think it's.
I don't think it's
though.
necessary when you can still watch Batman the Animated Series if you got the right streaming service. I bet you this reboot is going to be on a particular streaming service that you have to you're not gonna be able to watch it on any other regular channel.
Whatever all the
There's
other
gonna be
Disney
HBO
ones
Max if I remember correctly.
Exactly. So you already have that on the HBO Max. You already have the animated series. You already have Batman Beyond. You already have The Batman, which is another.
Well, they're
animated
trying to
series.
just kind of rehook on the.
I don't think it's necessary right now to make an animated reboot when you already have the original stuff and really good continuations of it already.
You know what I want? I want a Jon Stewart Green Lantern movie. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Is that so
Me
bad?
too. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Green Lantern is DC, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Green Lantern is DC,
I forget sometimes.
Or hell, even have a Green Lantern series.
Yeah, bitch.
So you can go on OA and go see different. This
is a really good point.
Yeah, DC does heavily work on the multiverse idea. Although they do it more so in the TV shows
but they're terrible at interweaving
in the movies.
They rely on them heavily, but they're really terrible at interweaving.
So in comparison to MCU, where they're going to really start introducing their own multiverses, how do you think they'll fare?
Oh my god, if Disney's doing a better job already, though.
Well, I mean, because they're yes, but they have, like you said, they've had more focus on this one verse for the most part.
Here's the problem. DC just overall does a better job with it based on the comics with multiverse ideas.
Yes,
okay.
But their cinematic versions are not.
It's not
a good base. So the foundation is not that solid. So I'm scared once they get up until.
So we're thinking about the execution of bringing it to live action then. So we currently have seen DC's execution of the multiverse, particularly with the TV shows.
Yeah.
What I will say is that
I wonder how that's going to compare to when MCU finally kicks that in.
Well, they kind of already did a little bit with Endgame, with time travel.
Right.
Because you remember the ancient one did make a reference
for sure.
If you take this stone out of this place right here,
they introduced it with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was multiverse.
They kind of glossed over, but actually introducing it and breaking it down.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
It was that scene in Endgame. And Quiz is kept. Endgame barely got over the hump as far as time travel, because it was kind of
that was a lot to
take in.
It was a lot. Cover. That was a lot.
So I trust in Feige. If he feels like he could pull off this multiverse thing, even though Marvel does a terrible job in the comics, have at it. Do your thing.
Marvel does a great job. DC.
Well, no, Marvel's MCU does a great job, but I'm talking about Marvel in the comic books. Not so much as far as a multiverse.
There's a lot of gaps. There are a lot of gaps.
There's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of.
But their universe, I feel like, is more expansive.
A lot of continuity issues when it comes to the comic books.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
Do you think MCU takes enough their own liberties with the storylines to fill in those gaps? Yeah.
Absolutely, but
I think it's not just that.
But they're doing a great way of still weaving.
I think there's also a lot of elements in there that you have to realize come with being a business. There's a lot of this that comes down to contract deals, what we can do, what we can't do legally. If you think about it, a big part of the reason they are where they are now is because they didn't own the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men and Spider-Man for so long. So a lot of the choices that they make are also them maneuvering when new things happen and change. So I think it's a multitude of things, because I feel like you had to come out with. I think it's a multitude thing. I feel like in Iron Man, like I said before, I feel like they had to come out with a character like that before, because they knew who the target audience was. They had to bring in the white boys first.
Yeah.
And then they knew. Then they could focus on the other characters, the other demographics. But they knew who to bring in first. They knew what they were doing.
Not necessarily.
Of course, not necessarily, Mo. Of course, that's
because you have to remember, technically, the Marvel Cinematic Universe was started with Blade.
No, it wasn't. The MCU, as we know it today, was started.
Not as we know it today. We're talking about just Marvel in general.
We're talking about Marvel in general. Sure, that was the first movie, but we're not talking about the MCU because Blade wasn't owned by Disney. So the MCU is owned by Disney. Disney owns the rights to the MCU. Those are the Disney products.
Disney didn't own
yes,
Marvel when Iron Man came out.
So why is it? Okay.
They own it, like, Iron Man blew up. Now.
Okay. I really think that these are like the way business deals work.
I know you're tired.
It's not that I'm tired, Mo. What I'm telling you is you're acting like the whole MCU wasn't started with Iron Man to prove a point, but the storylines don't match, which is why they're not using Wesley Snipes as his whole storyline is Blade. They're literally not using that. They're not using that storyline, is what I said. They're not even using that storyline.
Okay,
they're using a whole different thing. The MCU, if you're going to argue that it wasn't Iron Man, the best argument you could come up with was Edward Norton's Hulk. That's the best one.
No.
Of course no. But my point is, but these are proven things because the storyline from Edward Norton Hulk was directly reflected when Scarlett Johansson's character Black Widow went to pick him up in Brazil. So, because at the end of the Edward Norton one, guess where he was? He was where they went. So my point is, if you're gonna be nitpicky about it, it could have started with that one. But the idea of this Avengers expansive universe started in Iron Man at the end in the post credits when he mentioned the Avengers Initiative. Now we're talking about the whole thing. We're talking about is the idea of making a universe, which means it's cohesive, and it's cohesive. So that idea started. Now they may have picked up scraps from from Hulk and stuff like that, but it started was like, hey, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna introduce Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and expand from there.
Can I just say that you guys?
My point that I was trying to make, was that they had the point I'm trying to make, Duryea, is that with Iron Man and the Avengers, that was a solid foundation of work. If you're talking about multiverse as a whole, Marvel didn't have a good foundation as a whole. That's the only point I was trying to make.
I wasn't just. That's the thing about it. Like, you feel like I'm attacking your point. I wasn't attacking your point. What I said was, when you talk about Marvel as a franchise, a lot of times they will have to make choices that are business involved as well, because it's still Disney. They still want to make that point. So a lot of the choices that they're going to have to make are going to do with what makes sense logically, financially. We can't do Black Panther straight out the gate. We have to build up to that. We can't do a lot of these stuff straight out the gate. We have to build up to that. We have to make these business choices too. That's all I'm saying.
All right, back on topic, Ricky.
Right. Okay, so we were talking, like, what have we liked about Birds of Prey? So, like, for me, it was I liked that it was kind of chaotic. Like, for me, like, it was chaotic, and I enjoyed that.
Let's see, you gonna steal your treat.
Oh, talking to the cat. But no, like, I personally enjoyed that. Julian, who has not watched it. Duryea, what about you? What did you like about it, Duryea?
For me, I think it was fun. I think it was a very fun adventure. I really liked. I didn't like the fact that I don't know. Like, for me, other than it just being fun to see, like, women. I love a girl fight kind of situation.
It was sexy.
Honestly, the more I sit and think about it, I like the movie. It could have been a lot better to me. I feel like you sat on it. It could have. It wasn't a bad movie at all. But the more I'm thinking, I'm like, they had opportunities for so much stuff, but they fell into a lot of the old traps. Like, they took a character that's well liked and didn't put any work behind them. I stand by that. They took a character like Dinah Lance, and they only let her show off one time, and it was like. And that was another thing, like, make the black, like, you have this really powerful character who's technically more powerful than everybody on screen, and you only see her use the power at the command of lighter, like of a woman of closer
literally
privilege.
At the very end too.
At the very end, and and the whole time I'm watching, like, yo, she could fucking end everybody if she wanted to at any point in time, and it's never on her own. Like, even in the moment where she does use her powers, how dope would it have been if she just did it because she wanted to use her powers and not because this, woman more aligned with whiteness told her to. And to me, I feel like I didn't like that. But I liked the fight sequences. I liked that was my favorite thing about it, was the action sequences. I hate how easily they got rid of the villain. It was dope watching him explode, though. That was fun. So I feel like there were really dope moments where they could have had like a really I think they could have had a more epic movie, but instead they went for a niche movie, like a cute movie. They made a cute movie when they could have had an epic one, and that's my response to it. But it was good. It was. Go ahead.
So I was wondering, like, so there should be another Suicide Squad coming up. So, like, do you think that you're going to get more of that essence of Harley Quinn in?
Is it still Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to see, because I didn't have a problem with her in Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I had a problem with her in Birds of Prey. In Suicide Squad, I agree. She's annoying, and she was annoying, but it wasn't. It was her character that was annoying. It wasn't her acting choices that bothered me. In this one, it was her acting choices. So that could have to do a lot with the director, because, like I said, this director was trying to make a cute movie. Mm-hmm. Suicide Squad wasn't. They weren't trying to make a cute movie. They were, making something else. So, for me, Birds of Prey was cute. What I really liked was when Journey Smollett sang that goddamn song.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard her sing, and that was really dope.
I love the soundtrack to Birds of Prey.
Yeah, it was dope.
I love the soundtrack.
They had really great action scenes. That's what really blew me away.
The jail action scene, like the entire jail.
That entire sequence was dope.
The whole thing, I love that one. I love it.
I loved it. I think the action sequence did what did
like
it for
with
me.
When she had the little pellet gun with, I guess, like the big bean bags and like the color powder, and then like she's got her bat, and like whoever her stunt double is.
Mm-hmm.
Was kicking ass.
And I like how they pieced that scene together too. How like we at that moment we were still getting fragments. Yeah, I really like that. Like her in the bathroom making the phone. I like those fragments, and then I like that storytelling. That storytelling was dope.
But
it was very film noir in a way. Yeah. There was a film noir quality about it that I thought worked really well.
And that was kind of the chaotic part for me, was like you get like this introduction of what kind of is supposed to be like the backstory for this film, and then like you completely have like a stop in the middle of it to explain this whole other thing in the background for why we're going on this journey, and then you go back to this big fighting sequence in the jail.
Right.
Like, that part right there is like, oh crap, I forgot. We were supposed to be in this part right here.
You're right. Because that's the whole purpose, because she's psychotic. She's insane. Right. She's coming out of a toxic domestic violence relationship. So she's dealing with that trauma all at the same time of being already insane.
I think where there would have been really great middle ground, at least to ground her, would have been if they really played on the fact that she is technically brilliant in her own way. You know what I mean? She's like crazy and like ditzy, but
they did.
They did play on that. They did play on it.
Analyze the other two girls.
I was gonna ask that question first, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like that's like those are the moments where like, oh yeah, she does have a degree.
Okay. Right. Like, oh, because she does have a doctorate in psychology. Yeah.
A doctorate in psychology. Oh yeah, we forgot that. And I think those were probably the more like less caricature moments for her. For me, just like, oh yes, this is something that this kind of like leads into to how she is now. It's like it's almost like there's a method to her madness for this.
Yeah, right, exactly. Even though she has no idea what the hell she's doing, she's just
right. In Suicide Squad, they did do that because they did see Suicide Squad.
Right. I mean, like, yes, they talk about her intro into the world, and but like you get to see it more. I feel like in Birds of Prey.
But I think their direction, because they were getting a lot of critiques, because remember the Dark Knight series did so well, so they were trying to make Superman similar, And people were like, look, we're not trying to do all this dark shit. So
I thought Man of Steel was dope, though.
Honestly, Man of Steel was amazing. Are you kidding? Cinematically was awesome as well.
However, it still received mixed reviews, and by the time Batman,
but fuck a review though, because I'll be honest, like you can't listen to these reviews. Like, there's one thing about me: what I'm not gonna fall for is popular opinion and reviews, because I've never been a fan or agreed with either. Just because everybody's doing something or saying something doesn't mean that that's right. That just means that's what most people are doing.
But we also stated that it's a business, so they're going to go by that popular opinion.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that, which is once again why I said that they knew what they were doing by going with Iron Man first, because they knew who they needed to appeal to. Like, but that doesn't make it right.
You both right. No, you both
We're talking about Suicide Squad, and they're just saying
that's an example.
He's just saying that when forming your own opinion, don't go necessarily by popular.
I understand
popular
that.
opinion these days is so different. There's so many people who are now on the geek
what I'm talking about right now. Right now, I'm talking about the reason why they went into that direction. I'm not talking about if I liked it or not. I'm just stating what happened. All I'm stating is the receipts. Exactly. Let me have my receipts, okay? You're claiming my time.
I mean, at the end of the day, Captain Marvel didn't get good reviews either.
And it didn't make as much money as.
But they're still doing a sequel. But they still doing a sequel. So.
Yeah.
We also lost our Black Panther, so we're trying to.
My point is, reviews don't mean nothing.
Right. I mean, like this one did.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Wait. Only reason. So
yeah, I know. It's time to go. And I was trying to put in my point. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it.
But listen. So here's the thing. I have a long speech. So
when do you not?
Ooh.
So I want to say, whether I know it's only a few people watching us, we've had about 30 people involved in this, and a lot of people were involved literally being Destiny was at every event. I feel like today. I want to really say thank you from the bottom of me heart. I feel so loved to be where I was this time last year and to be where I am right now. It really feels like huge in so many ways to see like my family rally behind me, my blood family and my chosen family. I really am appreciative of everything we did today. The goal was to reach $1,000, so let's see where we are. Are y'all ready? Today,
should be scared.
For this fundraiser, we raised $1,538.
Bitch, shut up. Yeah.
Bitch. Yo.
We did it.
More, that and more. Yes. Okay, that's called goal reaching.
We
That's
did
it. Yes. So thank you to every single face that was on camera, behind the scenes, who sent me birthday love, who said shout outs to Jury. There's a lot of my friends who wanted to be here, but they working. I know the support was there. I didn't even look at who donated, but everybody who was just giving me energy, saying stay awake. Everybody hanging out with me who had to duck in at the last minute and do a project and leave. I really appreciate all of this. I can't wait to get this project out to you all and hope y'all receive it well, and then hope that we do a lot more. Y'all are absolutely a part of this in so many ways, because literally everything I've done from the beginning has involved a group of friends from the very first episode of Talk It Out. And so y'all are dope as fuck. I have literally only asked y'all for favors, and y'all always show up being chaotic as unprofessional as possible. But I mean, I love everybody so much right now. This is an amazing birthday. So we're gonna wrap up tonight by leaving you all with with our little Flirting with Destiny video. Now the way we're gonna leave is we're also gonna say, but we're not done raising. We still have about 3,500 more. So we want y'all to keep raising this money.
Yes.
And so get us to 5,000 so that we can film this and have it be exactly the experience that we want it to be. I love you guys so freaking much. I think you're awesome. Have a great night. Take care of each other. Wear your mask, even if the governor of Texas says not to. Also, thank you, Mo, for being here. And I'm going to go ahead and play the video. Y'all want to say something real quick?
Bye, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this has been great.
Bye.
Mo, we're going to have you back, girl. Oh my God, a few times. That's it.
I'm here today to ask you a question. Are you tired of the same old shows and by the same old people? Oh, wait. You are? Okay, great. Then this is definitely for you.
Let's get up close and personal with the cast and creative team behind Woe Nelly Media's first ever self-produced web series called Flirting with Destiny.
So, Woe Nelly Media, that Woe Nelly Media, yes, is going to be doing a new series, Flirting with Destiny. That's not going to be the theme song.
Flirting with Destiny. No.
Flirting with Destiny. Yeah.
And no, that's not the theme song either.
But what is going to be the theme is magic and tons of it.
Flirting with Destiny is a show about friendship, about the trials and tribulations of dating and trying to make it in this crazy world while still holding on to your close friends.
It's literally stories about my friends and I, which is hilarious.
It is where sci-fi meets situationships.
Destiny, who's the protagonist, she pretty much is the person in her family's life that everybody depends on to be straight away, but you know, she's young, so of course she doesn't have everything figured out.
She's trying to understand her place in this world, and she's trying to figure out how to be happy, despite everybody's attempts to tell her otherwise.
My character is Destiny. She really is this confident woman who just keeps getting thrown these different hurdles, and she's hilarious in the way that she thinks and handles these situations.
As much as she tries to juggle everything, things spiral out of control.
Be it her brother who's imprisoned, an ex who screwed her over, or even her roommate who's trying to leave her in the dust.
Essentially, she goes to her aunt, Portia, and she talks to her about all these things going on in life, and Portia gives her a gift. And this gift changes Destiny's life.
The magic in relationships meet. Now, we know there's magic in relationships, but that's a whole nother story.
Destiny will be living her day-to-day life as magic invades her space and decides to take over her, pretty much normal world.
There are also her two best friends, Quanisha and Michelle. They are respectively, her anchor.
I play Quan or Quanisha. She is like the ride or die friend. She's the one who always has your back, the one who's not afraid to jump in there and, start a fight for her friend.
Quanisha is more, aloof and drifty, kind of a dreamer.
I'm just gonna record. Okay, Quanisha. Sorry.
Michelle is much more like, the boss of the group.
So my character's literally me. I feel like I'm the type A person. Like, Destiny! Sorry. Silence your phones. Let's keep it quiet on set, please. But I'm also taking a moment to be loyal with my friends and making sure that whatever it takes to keep them happy, it gets done.
So I took a lot of my inspiration from the actual ladies and made them a little larger than life.
Duryea, our creator, he's kind of just created our characters based on ourselves, which is cool, but they're slightly different, and just the way that we approach life is different.
We are all real life friends, so I really think that chemistry is going to come across in the show.
These three friends and their lives, dating in the city while also struggling to find themselves as adults, pave their own paths in their career. I gave it a magical twist, which, you have to watch to find out about. When I sat down and wrote the script, it was just an exercise for me at first. And then as it continued, as I went further along in the process, I got really inspired by it. I started seeing other episodes into the future. I started seeing all this potential in this thing that was just going to be one script. And then after a while, I'm sitting on this script and I said, we can do this. We can make this script. We can film this. I have this friend who has equipment. I know this friend who's directed things. I know these friends who are actors. And it just, after a while, it just started to make sense.
I think it's really different. I really love the script.
I've already read the script for the first episode. I'm not giving away anything.
It was lighthearted and it was relatable.
Normally a web series is going to be about, 5-10 minutes. But this is a full half-hour pilot, and it's being shot, and that's a really big deal.
It was hilarious. I really could see myself in the story, aside from being just an actor in it.
Funny. It's legitimately funny. I enjoyed it.
I think it's just a really good, feel-good comedy that still has some drama elements in it as well.
When I first wrote the script, it was terrifying. I don't usually write pieces like this. I usually write like big epic sagas with a lot of fighting and action scenes. This is something that's more young, hip, funny, dialogue heavy with a magical twist. We don't really see this kind of content centered around POC writers, characters, and it's really dope to be a part of this process and to be creating this work that I want to see and that hopefully other people will want to see as well.
It's honestly like a really fun chance for us to like get together. So not only are we hanging out, but we're working together too. So that's quite a blessing.
What I'm most excited about, honestly, I'm really excited to see the work of the team that we've assembled.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell y'all what part I'm playing any of this, okay? My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I will be directing. That's right, she's directing, okay? I'm just kidding.
Currently in grad school for TV writing, and this is a fun opportunity to kind of take what I've learned and transfer it over to somebody else's inspirational work.
I am the DP on the project, the director of photography, and I'm excited to get this out to you guys.
It'll just be interesting to see how all of our talents mesh and how we work together. And I think in a very, very positive way, we'll challenge each other in a way that'll make us bring out the best in each other.
I'm really excited to be a part of Woe Nelly Media's very first self-produced project.
I'm so excited to be on board. Like, I think it's such a big step for a production company, especially a newer one, to produce your own project.
I'm all about, creating your own content, and if it can be based loosely on things that actually happen to you, awesome. That's where these stories come from.
I think we'll all learn a lot while working with each other, and I think it'll be an absolute blast.
And there was fear, that voice in your head that's like, oh no, it's too big of a project, and it won't be good enough, and all that other stuff. And then after a while, you realize that voice is never gonna go away. Never gonna go away. It's only gonna get louder if you feed into it, The only way to push past that is to literally just push past it. Everybody had to take a first step. Some of the people who inspire me are Quinn Tarantino, Spike Lee, Tyler Perry. They put a lot of value in their own beliefs and they put their own efforts behind it. And of course, there are people that came to support them, their friends and family. I couldn't do any of this without my friends and family. And that's what Flirting with Destiny did for me in writing that and realizing this is a thing I want to do. And this is just the first in many projects that we've discussed.
So if you're a sci-fi fan, this show will definitely be up your alley. But we need just a little bit of help from you guys.
What would the world be without art? We're all sitting here in quarantine. We all want something and need something to look forward to, something to enjoy, something to be a part of. And this is something that you could be a part of. You could help make this a reality. And why wouldn't you want to support that?
It's also Black and Asian females in this story. So finally we have some more colored people coming up in narratives. Let's support that.
People should support because you should support artists. It's far too frequent that people have ideas and they want to do something productive with them, but they're told that because you're not a big deal, you're not worth it. And I'm a big believer that mindset should change. I think that we all should pay it forward, especially people that came from the arts. We should be supporting each other.
It has so much heart, and a lot of the people in the process have been working so hard, and I think a lot of people will be able to relate to the message of the first episode and the series to come.
So I hope that you support us, that you'll help us raise this money so that we can pay for things like camera equipment, sound equipment, paying extras, paying actors, editing, special effects. There's a little special effects in there, The money will go towards things like that. And of course, all the unforeseeable things that will happen between now and us actually filming.
We're looking for donations. We're looking for support. We're looking for love.
Any little bit helps. Any little bit helps, and any little bit is appreciated because your hard-earned money, we're not taking that lightly.
We need your support, whether that's financially, whether that's sharing the news of the project to get it out to people.
It means a lot for you to give at all, because you don't have to. And eventually,
we will be presenting to you Woe Nelly Media's very first self-produced project, a web series called Flirting with Destiny.
So here we are, so excited.
I feel like I've told y'all everything I want y'all to know. Give me some money. Who's playing?